morning power up call. We have begun. It's good to have you guys all here. It's good to be here together, to join together and do these morning power up calls, especially during this crazy time of transition as we're kind of moving from Discord to this new platform and kind of in both places and we're getting the bugs ironed out on this new stuff. It's good to have some solid consistency in our lives where we get to get together, get to join together an entire group, all of us who are in the copywriting campus, and I include myself in that. Obviously, I'm further along, much further along the path than many of you, but I'm in this campus. I'm part of this big conglomeration of interesting people working on interesting problems to become more financially free. So I'm being a part of the copywriting campus is an honor for me, and I'm really happy to be here. And I'm really happy to just to have this moment to share some insight with you guys. I love doing these calls. I love that I get the chance to talk with you guys each day because I get to share things that can or have the potential to help you unlock massive amounts of new energy, massive amounts of new opportunities in your life, and help you guys progress faster down the path towards financial freedom and towards overall personal power. And today we're going to be talking about something seemingly unrelated to copywriting, but it's a key idea that will help you as you seek to overcome your normal limitations and as you seek to improve your ability to learn and improve your ability to execute and succeed on a large scale in your life. Now, the things I'm going to talk about today, they're going to help you become a better copywriter. They're going to help you tap into parts of yourself that will allow you to be more creative. It'll help you be more energized. It'll help you avoid pitfalls. But obviously, and like 90% of what I share on these morning power up calls, you can apply it across different aspects of your life. I like to teach lessons that are fundamental, that are part of my worldview, because they allow you all to sort of spring forward, right? You get to skip a lot of the development that it took me maybe a decade to develop on my own. You guys can sort of springboard right into that. You can kind of time travel with this stuff. So I'm happy to share this with you today. So first of all, there's two kinds of people in the world. There are the people who go through the world, basically just very passive. They are acted upon. They just react to situations in their life. They don't actually deliberately do very much in their life. These are people who, these are your friends and family, right? We love these people, but they have some limitations. They look at the world as a series of reactions. So they don't even look at the world. They just kind of react. They go through, they wake up, they do the routine, they do what's expected of them. They go to the places that are expected of them. They consume the ideas that people give them. And they just react to situations. Oh, here I am. I'm over here. Or, oh, I'm in this school. These are the people I'm with. Or, oh, I'm going to go to this university because that's what everyone else does. There's people that just kind of go through life and they're very passive and they're not aware of what's going on in their own life. And they're not deliberately choosing things in their own life. And generally speaking, the people that are purely reactive never end up anywhere special, right? If you don't know where you're going and you're not actively driving your life, you're going to end up somewhere. But honestly, if you don't care enough to direct your life, you're probably going to be okay with wherever you end up. Or you won't, and you'll be confused and angry. But I don't like to talk with those kind of people. I don't seek to help those kind of people. And that's the beautiful thing about HU and about the real world is that I get to work with people who are awake, who are on the process of building themselves up, of building a deliberately crafted, wonderful life. Now, I'm going to talk about one small aspect here of life, one small part of the human experience that most people are very passive about. And I'm going to help you become more deliberate here. And I'm going to do so because the deliberate use of music is one of the most powerful things you can do to unlock your mind and to put yourself in specific states of consciousness that allow you to write better, to work harder, to think better, and to live better. Now, you first have to understand music is one of the most powerful ways of programming the human mind that have ever existed. It's been with us since the dawn of time. It's right up there with storytelling. Music and storytelling are two of the most powerful vectors for instilling thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states in human beings that have ever existed. We've talked a lot about storytelling, and we've talked a lot about storytelling, and you guys have gotten pretty good at telling stories and using stories to communicate ideas and beliefs. But we haven't talked about music because, well, this is the copywriting courses and the music writing course. But I think you need to understand how music works. And I think you need to understand how you can use it deliberately in your life if you want to become a good copywriter. Obviously, you're not going to write music, but you will consume music. And I want you to do so deliberately. So, music is one of the most powerful ways to program the human mind. If you think about this, like the powers that be, the Matrix, they use this extremely well, right? Popular music, popular culture. Um, there's all sorts of weird conspiracies about different musical artists selling their soul. Like the whole thing, I mean, like you can just call that like probably a bunch of craziness. But the idea that people use music to influence mass culture because humans consume it passively is pretty well established. We can all pretty much agree that there are powers that be that influence music, that influence art, because it can influence the human psyche and give them greater control over human beings, right? So if you listen to music passively, if you just sit back, do and listen to your music, chances are you're going to be programmed with things that don't serve your best interests, right? That's not to say that all popular music is bad. And that's not to say that all popular music has a hidden agenda, because there's lots of good music out there that's probably pretty innocent, right? However, you need to turn your brain on and start listening to the lyrics of the music you listen to, right? This is outside of your binaural beats. This is outside of stuff you listen to while you're actually doing your deep work. When you're listening to music, you need to actually listen to the words that are being sung to you or rapped to you over the course of this music, right? Because you're shutting your brain off and you're letting these words into your subconscious. You need to pay attention and see if the words are things that will build you up, if the stories or the ideas or the experiences being described in the song are something you want to live in your life, or if they are not. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they are. Most stories in songs, most lyrics in most music are negative ideas. They're negative ideas. They're songs about heartbreak or anger at the world. There's all this stuff that's, generally speaking, music that just people passively consume, generally speaking, is just not that good for you, right? It has a negative connotation, it has negative beliefs that it's trying to instill in you. Once you become aware of this, you'll stop listening to that type of music and you'll shift and you'll find music that produces different thoughts in your mind. You look at music that has better lyrics. You look at music that creates better emotions in you, like the tempo, the pitch, all that stuff, all the different types of instruments, the way the music is done, like on a musical thing, which I'm not sophisticated enough to accurately describe to you. But if you listen to music and it creates a feeling that gives you more power and gives you more energy and gives you more control over your world, then it's probably good. But if you listen to it and it creates angst or fear or sadness in you, it's probably not what you need, right? It's not something you want to feed inside of yourself, because the music and the thoughts you consume, they build inside of yourself. They feed that part of you, right? So if you're listening to music that is all about anger and sadness, and that's what you listen to, then okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, we got audio. If that's what you're listening to, then it's going to feed that inside of you. But if you listen to things that make you feel powerful, intelligent, smart, and positive, then those kind of things will grow inside of you, right? So you need to pay attention to the emotional state that you're getting, as well as the words that are coming through your headphones into your brain. When I was a kid, I grew up in Southeast Texas, right? Loved it. Great place to grow up. Wonderful childhood. Did all the redneck things. It was wonderful. Absolutely loved my childhood. My family listened to classic country music like crazy, like on repeat. There was always some classic country radio station playing in the background of my life. And I remember as a kid listening to these songs, and I remember there was one time I was maybe like 7 or 8. I asked my dad, I'm like, Dad, why are all these songs about love? Right? Like, why aren't there songs about like gunfights or like Western stuff? Right? It's like, oh, people really like love. Like, it's just a thing that people sing about. And I think what I was noticing as a young man, and as I grew older, I became to notice this a lot more. Most of those old country songs are about being sad, and they're songs about impotence, right? Men who lose things in their life, they lose loved ones, lose relationships, lose their dog, that kind of stuff, right? It's about people that can't seem to control their world, can't seem to create wonderful experiences for others. And I realized that it was a code of life. And if you look at most country music today, it gives you cultural instruction on how to live and fit into the stereotype in the small world. And I realized this consciously, and so I've rejected that. I very rarely will I listen to any of those songs, and I'm very careful about the ones I do listen to from like my childhood, because I know that some of them don't build me up in the correct way. Some of them have a, let's say, hidden agenda or an effect that I don't desire in my life. So I seek music that creates different emotional states in me and reinforces better beliefs for me. So we've talked kind of generally about how music works, how you can apply it in your life, or how it affects you, and how you should be deliberate about this. I'm going to give you some examples of times you can do this. And a lot of you guys probably do things like this, right? Like when you go to the gym, you have your gym playlist because it helps you get into a certain emotional state. I want you to think about states that you want to get into. Let's say like feelings you want to have, because emotion is energy, right? And there are different times in your life where you want different kinds of energy to do different tasks. If there is a specific type of energy you need, if there's a specific type of emotion you need to perform a task to be successful, let's say creativity. If there's something you're going to do before you sit down to write copy, what music can you seek that will create or summon those states inside of you, right? Think about things you want to accomplish in your life, things that are difficult, and try and think of music that will help you get into the appropriate emotional state and will reinforce those beliefs, like those beliefs that you need to be successful. That's kind of the big exercise from today. One, just become more attentive to the type of music you're listening to and the thoughts and beliefs and feelings that it creates inside of you. And two, start deliberately choosing music for different moments in your life where you need different types of energy so you can summon those at will, and deliberately use music from something that goes from a control mechanism that the Matrix might use to keep you down to a massively powerful tool that allows you to rise up, right? And as you think about this is an aspect of perspicacity, right? Seeing through the outward appearance of things, the normal appearance of things, and seeing the true factors and the true forces at play, and deliberately taking control of those forces in your life. That is the process, right? You guys are here to learn to be financially free, but really what's happening is you guys are developing. I kind of got my brain wires crossed there for a second. What you are really doing is you are developing your deliberate control over the factors in your life that will get you what you want. You're going from someone who was asleep to someone who is awake, someone who was passive and not in control of their life to someone who can control the aspects of their life that they need in order to achieve the success that they truly desire, right? You're going from an asleep human being to a fully awake human being. It's almost like a completely different version of humanity. You're going to live a life that other people won't understand. Your average people in your life that are going through their world passively, they won't understand you. You'll seem different. You'll act completely different. And that's because you approach things, basic things like the human experience, like music, completely and entirely different from a place of control and deliberate intention, right? So take this principle, apply it inside the music sphere, but also think about other things in your life. Start paying attention to how normal people live and how you live, and see if you can start shifting things. Because if you live like the normal people, you get the results the normal people get. If you live like a different type of person, you'll get different results. So keep this in mind. Continue to stay patient as we work through the rest of the onboarding and the ramp up on the real world. That's going to be the place where I can talk to you guys more clearly. I can share things I cannot share here on Discord with you. So I'm excited to get that up and going. It's where I'm spending most of my time right now because it is the most valuable thing I can do to serve you. So that being said, take this information, apply it to your life, and we will talk again tomorrow.